Hey, World Entertainment, and I hope you all had a good weekend. And of course, we are now getting some more clarification on what is happening over at Warner Brothers with Lord of the Rings. Because as we know, they are making the brand new film, The Hunt for Gollum. But it was suggested that that was going to end up actually being 2 movies. Well, that is now being clarified that The Hunt for Gollum will in fact only be 1 movie. However, there is going to be another live action movie in development as well. So we see what how this all came about, like where the idea that it was going to be 2 films coming about and how they kind of debunk it and what the suggestions are for this other movie. And I think the idea of them doing these movies isn't just because Warner Brothers and Discovery CEO Zaslav wants to be using the IPs, because he said that when he took over. He was like, you know, we got DC, we got Lord of the Rings, we got Harry Potter. Why are we doing nothing with them? So as much as I think he wants to use the IPs, I also think it's a bit of a screw you to Amazon for the whole debacle of Rings of Disaster. But let's dive into this. So it says, back in March, we got word that a new Lord of the Rings movie titled The Hunt for Gollum is set to hit theaters in 2026, with Andy Serkis on board to direct and reprise the title role of Sméagol after first bringing the iconic character to life in Peter Jackson's trilogy. Jackson and his writing partners Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens are also set to return as producers and will be involved every step of the way, according to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. More recently, comments from Sir Ian Mckellen seem to suggest that the movie would be split into 2 parts, which Boyens has now debunked. However, a second film is in the works, which will most likely focus on Gandalf. So here's what she told Empire. She said, "I can tell you definitely it isn't 2 films. That was a genuine misunderstanding that happened because we've begun to work conceptually on 2 different live action films. The first being The Hunt for Gollum, the second one still to be confirmed." Boyens went on to reveal exactly when The Hunt for Gollum takes place in the timeline, and she said, "It's quite an intense story, which falls after the birthday party of Bilbo and before the mines of Moria. It's a specific chunk of incredible untold story, told through the perspective of this incredible creature." Okay, so now we know when The Hunt for Gollum is going to be set, but it's the fact that they want to go and focus a second film on Gandalf. It kind of makes sense because Ian Mckellen has said he would love to come back and play the character, and apparently he has kind of turned around and said, look, time's running out, you know, if you want me, you better use me and use me quickly. So, which is sad as well, you know. But the fact of this time period that they're saying, how are they going to pull that off in terms of the cast? Because a lot of suggestions are, of course, well, you're probably going to have to bring back a lot of the original cast, which means you're going to be having to de-age them a lot and for the entire movie. And of course, the de-aging process doesn't quite work all the way. It's fine for a few minutes, but a whole movie, it always starts to kind of look a bit and it's the same if they do the movie about Gandalf. You know, how are you going to make an entire movie about Gandalf and you'd have to de-age him? Now, here's the real issue with the whole de-aging process is, yes, you can de-age them and it can look fine and stuff, but the actors still the age they currently are, and they still move and speak the way that they are now. And I always think of when you look back at The Irishman, when Robert De Niro is kicking the hell out of the shopkeeper dude, and they de-aged De Niro to look like he was about 40 something, and yet he was still moving and throwing the kicks in the scene like a 70 something year old man. You know, it's you're looking at this technology that goes, hey, we can make you look like you're back in your 20s. However, we can't make you move like you're in your 20s. So you're kind of going to be having to try and work around that. That doesn't mean you stop people from moving and stuff. But it really does lend the question of if they're going to start bringing back cast members. Like, how much are you going to run the budget up by having to de-age all of them? And of course, if you try and stick Bilbo in there, you're going to be basically resurrecting the actor again. Yes, again, because we just saw that in Alien Resurrection. Or not Alien Resurrection, what's it called? Alien Romulus. And that was the one, well, other than the end of that movie, that was the one element that you were kind of going, oh Christ, that looks terrible. So you would hope they wouldn't do that. But it is interesting that they are working on not one but 2 movies. Separate movies. We got The Hunt for Gollum, which, to be honest, I have no idea why they want to tell that story. It truly don't. Like, it was the whole idea of this story came from one paragraph in the book. So, I don't know. And do you really want to spend an entire movie with the character of Gollum? You probably won't be. And that's the other issue, is like, how much of Gollum will actually be in it, and how much are they going to rely on you having to be with the other characters we know, maybe Aragorn and Gandalf and stuff. And again, you're going to have to be doing de-aging. So it's going to be very interesting to see what actually happens with this. I don't really have all that much faith in Andy Serkis, to be honest, as a director. I don't think he's really shown what he can do in terms of success. You know, the reception, of course, for Venom, Let There Be Carnage wasn't great, and his Jungle Book thing didn't really pan out all that well either. So to hand him the reins of this, just because he played the character, doesn't necessarily mean he understands the world. We'll wait and see, you know. And again, if Peter Jackson's stuff are going to be there step by step, that could also actually be maybe not the best of thing, because there could be a lot of the old saying, too many cooks in the kitchen. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we now have clarification that Gollum is going to be one movie, and that there is going to be another movie that may be focused on Gandalf. So we'll wait and see what happens. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.
You shall not!